boy.
Oh God.
I don't know what my only crime was being happy. That's all I did.
I hate you. Holy shit, Danny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Market Down Podcast.
Happy New Year!
We are back from our AEW holiday hiatus. I know Danny finally hopped on a Raw Fast Forward on Monday. Thank you, everybody who joined him there. But we are back here once again to review the latest episode of AEW Dynamite. Obviously, the first episode of the new year.
Oh no, the Wi-Fi's crashing. Oh, please tell me it's not just me. Yep, no, it's me. We're live. So yeah, it's the first episode of Dynamite of the new year. We started off with a bang as we follow up from the World's End pay-per-view where the devil was revealed to be that fat son of a bitch, Adam Cole. Guys, sometimes the most predictable route isn't bad. Sometimes it is the most satisfying, and this was the right reveal for the devil. As we are introduced to what is now the United Kingdom. No, I'm sorry, the Undisputed Kingdom. I'm mixing up my companies because I was very nervous I was going to have to do this alone. I'm very glad Rev is back. But the Undisputed Kingdom. United Empire.
United Kingdom is a country. Yeah,
United Empire
is a country.
United Empire was what my brain was going. I'm dealing with a lot. I'm stressed out. Okay, new year, same James, but
same Nick with a shitty ass fucking connection. Apparently, to StreamYard.
The Undisputed Kingdom being led by the devil himself, Adam Cole, flanked by Roderick Strong. Didn't see that one coming. The Kingdom. Didn't see that coming. And War Daddy, Wardlow himself. Rev, take it back.
Sure. You totally skipped the Samoa Joe promo that opened the show.
You say that because I missed the promo because I wasn't feeling well. But I jumped in like 2 minutes late.
Fair. I honestly missed about the first 30 seconds of it. It was from right after his win over MJF at World's End. As I was trying to say, this is the first episode after World's End. A lot of stuff happened. Most of us were at that show. I was there. I had a pretty good time. Not too keen on Nassau Coliseum, though, but we can get into our thoughts about that another time. But as James said, following the Samoa Joe promo, we did have Adam Cole and the newly established Undisputed Kingdom come out to the ring to cut a promo. We actually had the show open with Adam Cole's music, but then that was quickly replaced with his new theme music for the new group, and a Tron that says Undisputed, along with a crown on it, obviously, as we eventually found out, for the Undisputed Kingdom. Cole comes to the ring and takes a seat and tries to justify his actions on Saturday, saying that MJF has created more enemies in the locker room than anybody else by insulting both them and the crowd in AEW as a whole. So in the future, all of these people, even Tony Khan, will eventually thank him for driving MJF out of AEW because he is never coming back. Even though we have Navarro in the comments saying he's really glad MJF is going to stay. We know that right now. Adam Cole certainly doesn't believe he will. Not to mention the fact that he is currently not on AEW's online roster page. Now, that never really means anything, but it's just an interesting note. Anyway, what had started for Cole as a goal to get the AEW World Championship, turned into a battle to destroy a man to his core. And now that he has done that, MJF is officially dead. Cole then introduces the Undisputed Kingdom. As James mentioned, Roderick Strong, the Kingdom themselves as the tag team and the Ring of Honor tag team champions, and gets to Wardlow, who he says will go for the AEW World Championship, win that championship, and then when Cole is 100% healthy, Wardlow will do the right thing and hand him the AEW World Championship.
Weird way to start this already, right? Like, weird.
It was a very, very early setup for something that I kind of feel like we can clearly see coming.
Why would, first of all, even from a storyline perspective, we have to believe Adam Cole is smart enough to have pulled all of this off, right? He was smart enough to have pulled off the trick of the century on MJF. He was smart enough to fool us for months as the devil. So why would he be dumb enough to think that Wardlow would do this? And let's say, all right, let's flip it. Let's say Wardlow is actually willing to do it. Why? Why? Presumably you only joined this group because of how much you hate MJF. You already took out MJF. Why would you continue to serve this guy and give him presumably a world championship that you won? I don't understand what this was. This was very weird to me.
Yeah, it was a weird jump because either you're immediately setting up for the Batista thing, right?
Yeah. Which they did with him the first time with MJF.
Exactly. Or you have kind of something they're running now with Luchasaurus / Killswitch and Christian Cage, where, Killswitch continues, yet even though begrudgingly, continues to acquiesce to Christian, helping him win titles back. We saw that on Saturday, and Christian stole the title from Luchasaurus months ago in the first place. So you're either running back a story you're already doing, or you're running back a story you already did. It is just very, very odd way to start this, I thought, at least for Wardlow. Very strange. But
I just want to say one last bit. I am now looking at this group that should feel like it has so much potential, and I'm already looking at it with an expiration date. That's not great. So I don't know. Right. I was very happy. What?
Oh, go ahead.
I was very happy with the reveal of this group for the pay-per-view. I know some of you guys weren't, but every piece of this felt right to me. And now it just feels like they really dropped the ball, like on the follow-up. I'm a little bummed.
I think the only card they have left to play in this scenario would be that Cole is smart enough to know that Wardlow will turn on him in terms of trying to get the title, and he'd probably be like, "I was never going to let you get the title in the first place, you dumbass. Like I always knew you were going to turn when the second you had a chance at it. What do you think? I am an idiot?" But again, that still seems so far away, hopefully, and convoluted. Just start with that. So it was an odd choice, I think, to have that in their first promo as a faction.
Yeah.
But to continue on here, Cole but he mentions Samoa Joe, saying that he hopes Joe isn't champ by the time Wardlow is ready to go for the title because he doesn't want to have to hurt a friend. Sure, buddy. After Cole finishes up by saying, the devil is here to stay, we have the music of Switchblade Jay White hit, and he comes out onto the stage. Switch is actually pretty impressed with Adam Cole, how he pulled all this off, kept everybody off of his scent, and he was able to take out MJF, somebody who Switchblade obviously doesn't like. However, Switch is pretty pissed off that this all started by him getting jumped by what is now the Undisputed Kingdom way back when. And he was also pretty pissed that he was on his own when all of that happened, and Bullet Club Gold wasn't there to help him. So he calls out the rest of the Bang Bang Gang, or at least the healthy members, and the Ass Boys, aka the Guns. I actually am going to try to stop calling them the Ass Boys.
No,
because they're
refuse.
They're pretty cool.
Refuse.
In the Bang Bang Gang.
What's wrong with being an ass boy? You could be a cool ass boy.
I have no problem with that. I just think in certain instances, there's time to call them ass boys, and there's times not to. I feel like this is a time not to call them an ass boy. Anyway.
I don't know who you are anymore, but fine.
The Guns came out, and they had obviously to get chased back, and the three of them go to hit the ring and attempt to attack the Undisputed Kingdom. We had Wardlow protect Cole by getting him out of the ring as Roddy and the Kingdom themselves, that's going to get really confusing, go 3-on-3 with the Bang Bang Gang until Wardlow, after he has safely gotten Adam Cole out of the way, comes back in to turn the odds in the Undisputed Kingdom's favor. However, we then had the Acclaimed, who was also jumped by this group, put through plate glass windows and whatnot. They come out and kind of make the save for Bullet Club Gold as they chase off the Undisputed Kingdom, and Adam Cole hides behind Doc Samson. Eventually, there is a stare down between the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold, as obviously they had their problems. when MJF was feuding with Jay White. So they had to stare down before Jay decides discretion is the better part of valor, and the Bullet Club Gold leaves the ring. So, James, despite that weird little Wardlow thing, I did rather enjoy this promo. We get smarmy heel Adam Cole back. We established this new group, and we established something I found quite ironic. Cole mentioned how many enemies that MJF made, and we immediately see that in his process of taking MJF out, he has created two very strong groups of enemies in Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed, along with, we get to this later, along with Hangman Adam Page and countless others that this group had interacted with and attacked.
So I'm actually going to correct that a little bit, because in my mind, he was already enemies with these people. Everybody he attacked, he feuded with the year prior.
True.
Jay White is the person who injured Adam Cole and gave him that concussion and took him out for a long, long time. Then there's the Acclaimed, who were supporting MJF all throughout. And then you have Hangman Adam Page, who they had their vicious feud for the AEW World title as well. Everybody that was attacked were people who, if I'm Adam Cole, feel wronged me. So I think he picked these people purposely. I don't think he went into this not realizing the enemies he was going to have, but he wasn't making them. He was just he was getting back at them. So
I think the only one I'm going to push back there is the Acclaimed. I don't really think he had feuded.
That's fair. That's fair.
So they joined in with MJF, and then I guess they just became somebody he had to deal with. And then I guess the other thing would be Hangman was a combination of kind of both Cole and Samoa Joe, because Cole literally said that he said to Joe, "You're welcome for taking Adam Page out." It was I was great. It worked for both of us. So it was kind of a bit of a combination of both for Page in specific. But yeah, Jay White being taken out, very obviously, like you said, it was White who unintentionally, but in kayfabe, it doesn't matter, injured Cole, and we ended up getting to this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm intrigued with all of these matchups. Producer Boy put up a tweet before that is a sentiment I've seen from a few people already, that Bullet Club Gold should be going for the trios title. And I'm all for it, really, because Jay White should be wearing gold. I love the Acclaimed, always will, but this trios run hasn't necessarily been amazing for them.
Do they still have the titles?
Yeah.
Completely forgot. It was one of those things I was like, I knew that, but they have not really been on TV since they got hurt. I think maybe they've been on Collision a bit, but they weren't on
Collision.
And they clearly haven't been on Dynamite since they got attacked by what ended up being the Undisputed Kingdom.
Exactly. So that's, I love them. I would love for them to have a better reign with these titles, but it might be time for a reset. I think my only real problem with this is that I think Jay White is above the trios title. I would have loved to see the Ass Boys and Juice go for the trios title, but hey, gold is gold. I'm happy to see gold around his waist. So it is what it is, and I'm intrigued by this. You mentioned it. We're going to talk about him later, Hangman as well. I'm just going to say it. Guys, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Just a little bit. I won't get into it. Hangman, buddy, I love you. What are you doing getting to the arena at 9:45?
Dude, it's Newark, New Jersey. Do you know how bad traffic is down there?
My man came to work what would be at a 9 to 5 job at 4:45.
Living the
Don't
dream.
show up at that point, bro. Go home. Hop back on the plane. It's not worth it.
I mean, unless he was only told to show up for Rampage tapings, and that's why he got there late, but
it's not the
in
point.
which case he's on time.
It's not the point. But regardless, what is happening is what we knew would be happening. Or at least I feel like I knew. MJF was going to lose the world title, and then the Devil stuff would spin out into things that didn't have anything to do with the world title. And we've created now several new stories to come out of this. All right, that is incorrect, producer boy. I'm sorry. That top image does not match Rock and Austin. Another image from that match does, but it doesn't involve those two men. It involves Danny Garcia and Prince Nana. The only other equivalent, it looked more like Rock Hogan than Rock Austin.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
But yeah, we have at least 2 to 3 new storylines spinning out of this Devil reveal. And I'm excited. I am genuinely excited. I'm excited to have Jay White on TV regularly. I'm excited to have the Acclaimed back on TV. I'm excited for what will be happening with Hangman. A little confused, but excited. And I'm excited for where the title is going to go. I'm excited for Joe. So many possibilities. And it's been 4 days.
Yeah, no, there's a lot for them to do here. I think, in terms of what you said about Jay White having a title, he seems like a guy who should maybe have the international title. I know Orange has it. Or perhaps, I know it's brand new, but maybe the Continental title at some point.
Right,
if he's not going to have the AEW championship.
At some point, yes, but he literally shouldn't win the title off of Eddie Kingston.
Oh, no. I don't.
It kind of defeats the whole purpose of what this was.
Agreed. But I would like to see him be the international champion.
Yeah, no, I would too. I'd be happy. I mean this. I'd be happy with any title around his waist.
Yeah. Any
title at this point. He's too good.
Also, do I get to bring these back now or what?
I love it. I got to look for mine. But that's kind of what I'm hoping long term. I'm hoping Wardlow gets ousted and Kyle O'Reilly takes his spot.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle coming in general would be cool, assuming he gets healthy, and we all
cool
hope
Kyle.
He does. And I think hopefully Wardlow being ousted, or any of them being ousted, takes a really long time. I don't want this to disintegrate very quickly. I think there's a lot of potential here.
Unpopular opinion, I would not mind if they ousted Wardlow almost immediately. Let it be that they, like Adam Cole says it, we wanted you because you didn't like MJF and you were big. Now that I have my group together, I want my guy here. I would love it if they do it almost immediately. Very Daniel Bryan Nexus style, where he was there for like one episode and then he was gone. Different reasoning, but
sorry, Justin Roberts.
I would love it if that's what happened, and I wouldn't mind if that kind of brings Wardlow back to MJF.
I don't know if that would ever happen.
Long-term booking, baby. That's what we do here at the Mark It Down podcast. We fantasy book, and most of the time, it's bad.
Yeah, I don't love that one. I really don't. You know why? Here's the other reason, too. I'm so afraid of what might happen to Wardlow should he immediately get ousted from this group, because I feel like he has been started and stopped so many times that he needs something consistent again for a while to reestablish himself.
I agree on that front, but so this is what I'll say. When MJF is ready to come back, because he's going to come back, but when MJF is ready to come back, that's when I would like for this to happen. AEW, I think you could agree on this point. AEW tends to have that flaw of dragging their stories out maybe a month or two too long. And I would rather see this be done quickly than dragged out. And I love Wardlow. I've met the man. He's very friendly. He's very humble. He's very hungry. And I'm rooting for him. But I think it's fair to say he's not in a great place generally. He's generally viewed as a second-tier character for AEW. And that's not because of ability. I think he's great. But it's just how he's been treated. So anything is better than nothing.
Yeah, and I guess, there's always the rumors he might go to WWE, so perhaps, I don't know what his contract status is, but that could play a factor in the timing of everything too. So could be interesting. Eric in the chat saying maybe Wardlow beats Joe for the title with the help of MJF. He
I
threw an
would
LOL
love
at
that.
the end.
I would love that. MJF making amends with the one person he feels he wronged that he regrets, and Wardlow gets revenge on Joe for screwing him out of his title and betraying him. Eric, like you and me right now, I don't know what this new year is doing, but we're kind of on the same page, and it's a little scary. But it feels nice. It feels right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess it would depend on if Wardlow was still in the group or not. I think that would be my only hang up with that. But it is a very interesting idea. But there is obviously a lot to come for this new group. It is their first day after all. Hell, it was the first episode of the new year. So we will see what things come for them in this new year for this new group. But let's move along here. After that, we had a Eddie Kingston promo package after the pay-per-view, which was his promo after the pay-per-view, along with some video of him winning the Triple Crown title, which was pretty cool. That was followed up with a promo package for Daniel Garcia and his main event match against Swerve Strickland. And then we had Orange Cassidy versus Dante Martin for the AEW International Championship. This was set up last Friday on Rampage when Top Flight and Action Andretti faced off against the Best Friends. And Dante ended up pinning Rocky Romero for the win. And he, according to commentary, really gave Orange a lot of trouble, including dodging a bunch of Orange punches. So he earned this opportunity from Orange Cassidy. And this was a good match. Dante Martin, I think, has really gotten back in the flow of things since his injury. And, you know, there was that whole run there when Darius got hurt and he was the singles guy and he really shined, even if he wasn't necessarily ready for it. And he has clearly come back in a big way. It is good to see him doing well and having a very good match against Orange Cassidy. This match ended with Orange actually countering that drop kick that Dante used on Friday to avoid the Orange punch. He used a head and shoulder fake as Excalibur said, and then he was able to turn around, stop on a dime, and land the Orange punch for the win. Then after the match, we had Hook and Danhausen come down to the ring to check on Orange, and Darius Martin and Action Andretti came down for Dante. Obviously, you know, the two groups helped their men up, and then Orange extended his hand to help up Dante, and then there was a little bit of a production issue, I think, with the music, and it was weird because the Top Flight theme played instead of what I think was supposed to play, so they had to shake hands again, but eventually we figured it all out because, oh my God, is that Private Party? As Mark Quinn makes his return, Private Party is reunited, and they have come back.
So good.
They have come back to put the tag division on notice. They called out everybody from FTR to the Hardys before saying eventually that they will be going after the tag team titles. So, James, for this title, I enjoyed this match. It started a little slow, you know, a bit of a feel out, and you could tell Orange was trying to keep Dante grounded. So it was a lot of, you know, mat work and stuff like that. I thought Dante did a good job of getting in Orange's head as opposed to Orange getting in his head, which is what normally happens with this, you know, the slow kicks and stuff. And I thought, you know, some good psychology based off of last Friday, and it all led to a very good match.
I very much enjoyed it. As of this match, Nia Jax still has the best match of 2024.
All right, Danny.
But I enjoyed it. I thought this was a solid defense. I thought this was a good showing for Dante, who, if we've been paying attention over the last few weeks on Rampage and Collision and Dynamite, they've really been boosting up. He has looked fantastic since returning, and I'm glad. I really enjoy Top Flight. I enjoy these young teams developing very well, and I think Action Andretti, even though the water thing is fucking stupid, I'm sorry, it's fucking stupid.
I've only seen it that one time, and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yep. Like, it's a cool party trick, but if that's the guy you are, it's just weird, man. Stop doing it. You're fucking up your insides. Trust me when I say it. You are fucking up your insides. But regardless, I really enjoyed this trio. I enjoyed the match. I agree with you 100%. I love the psychology of it, where Dante was kind of fucking with Orange Cassidy. And this is an Orange Cassidy who he's not a heel, but he definitely has way more of an edge to him now. Yeah. Ever since losing the international title the first time, he's had way more of an edge. And we saw that in these kicks he was doing to Dante in the corner. He is not holding back anymore. So I really love the back and forth here. As happy as I am that Private Party showed up, and I really, really am. I think they are a great tag team. I think they are a fun tag team. They bring me back to day 1, day 2 of AEW.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they did it here. Like, they came out as the tag team. We're going to be taking on the tag team division after a international title match in which we're looking at 2 trios. Are they going to introduce a third guy? Like, I don't know. And like, I found it very interesting that they called out the Hardys amongst all the other teams that they called out. But considering Brother Zay has been with the Hardys for what feels like years at this point, I would have appreciated if it felt like a bigger deal, or like, say what you will about the Hardys in 2024 in AEW, but that's a match that should have payoff. That's a match that should have build. And to just offhandedly combine the Hardys with FTR and other teams, it feels super rushed. So that's my one issue with this whole thing, from bell to segment. I wish that they had timed it a little bit differently. I wish that Private Party had come out at a different time. But yeah, all I'm saying is that if WWE pulled this book, it's been 4 years. And guys, if you don't get who Orange Cassidy is at this point, you're willfully ignorant. Willfully ignorant.
It's an account. It's WWE lifer. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not going to understand the bit here. But as for Private Party, I would imagine the reason they came out is because they're local. They were in New Jersey. I think they're Brooklyn guys. So I get that, trying to get them in their return in the area. But yeah, it was weird that the only quote unquote tag team in there was really Top Flight, because, if you're just including the brothers. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I guess Andretti is officially a part of Top Flight now, I guess.
He's technically more of a tag team with Darius than Dante is with Darius.
Yeah, because, both of them keep getting hurt back and forth, which is unfortunate. And obviously we want them to stay healthy. But yeah, it was a weird epilogue to that match. Yep. It was a weird spot, but I get why they wanted to put them on the show in Newark.
Absolutely.
Maybe do it on Rampage. Absolutely. And also, too, maybe just kind of throw the Hardys in a match tonight.
Yeah, they do it willy-nilly whenever.
Just you have them in a match tonight. I don't know what else you could have cut, but you could have found room for them. And then you do that. And then, Private Party comes back and they call out everybody. And then they kind of, not get in the Hardy's face, but they say, like, look, we're going to come, we're coming for everybody, including you. And it would have been a lot cooler than them just randomly, calling everyone out and then the rest of the guys in the ring basically ignoring it. Yep. So that was odd. I would like to say hello to Dev in the chat. It's good to see you, Dev. Happy New Year. I hope you were doing well.
Dev.
Welcome back. Just very happy they're back. Love Private Party. I've loved them since they were fighting. I think it was a bear on BTE.
I'm going to say something that is definitely a hot take. I was so happy to hear their music hit, but man, I miss their original music.
So do I.
I know this music is better. I know it's better, but I was so hyped listening to their original music.
Yeah, it's definitely more face music, and this is more heel music. So they changed it, I think, when they turned heel. So we'll see. I do miss that music, though. It was very. And it was much more It was much more EDM club than rap club.
Also, I agree with producer boy the tweet that he put up that it would be nice if Orange has an actual feud for this title.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
And the gift was of Will Ospreay, which would be very interesting. And another person I would very much like to see with that title, especially if he's going to go over to New Japan whenever he wants. He can go defend that there. That would be sweet. I think that's what we all kind of wanted for this title anyway. So, that'd be cool. Next up, we went to a backstage interview with Timeless Toni Storm. She is very upset that she's in New Jersey and not New York. Can't say I blame her. So she's going to leave early to go over to Broadway and then have a seance to talk to somebody. Okay. Renee then mentioned that Mariah May's debut is up next. And Tony's like, Renee, darling, I don't watch wrestling. So
I cannot. Somebody needs to GIF that. Somebody needs to meme that. Somebody needs to make that the banner on Squared Circle.
Oh, Renee, darling, I don't watch wrestling.
Yeah, I don't watch wrestling.
Anyway, besides, Mariah needs to pay her dues, and what better way to do that than for her to wrestle in New Jersey? So, Toni Storm, top of my face list tonight. We then went to commercial, came back to a House of Black promo package. They being Malachi and Buddy, they're going to face off against FTR on Friday on Collision, which seems really cool. And then we went to another backstage interview, this time with Swerve, Strickland, and Prince Nana. Renee asked Swerve about facing Daniel Garcia tonight, and Swerve says Garcia is getting this match because he respects the fact that he is going for championship gold, much like himself. Swerve then turns his attention to Samoa Joe, saying that the gold he will be chasing in 2024 is indeed the AEW World Championship. We already know that, bro. But nice to hear it. Then we finally get to Mariah May's debut match in AEW. She is facing off against Queen Aminata. This was a very good match. I enjoyed it. I'd never seen Queen Aminata before or Mariah May, so it was interesting to see two new talents for me. I know Queen Aminata, according to Taz, has been on Dark before, but I do believe this was her Dynamite debut. So
I believe so as well.
It was nice to see some fresh talent. It was nice to see the women not have a segment in the time slot of death again, and for it to not be Toni Storm. But I guess there was a reason for that. This match ended up with Mariah hitting her finish, the Mayday, to get to 1, 2, 3 for the win. However, as much as I like Mariah, I think what happened after was a little bit more important, as Renee came down to interview her after her win and asked Mariah how she felt about it. Mariah is thrilled that she won, and she hopes somewhere that Toni Storm was watching, but she was disappointed that her match had to happen in her first match, had to happen in New Jersey. Again, can't say I blame her. But this prompted one.
It brought out the virtuosa herself, Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo has been a free agent for the last several months, has finally left Impact Wrestling, and is now, in her own words, all elite. She comes out and she reminds us, guys, she's a Jersey girl, and she is ready, and she has a message for Toni Storm. What was that message, Rev? I'm sorry. I know you. I stepped all over you, but I'm just excited. The virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo is in AEW, one of the best female wrestlers. Let me rephrase that. One of the best wrestlers in the world is in AEW, and I am super, super excited about it. This division just got better.
I texted James wellness check after she debuted, and he goes, I got up too fast and I'm really, really dizzy. Anyway, that message that Deonna had for Toni Storm was that wherever Toni decides to go and run and hide, Deonna will find her because she is indeed, as James said, all elite. Mariah responds by saying she's not the messenger, and Deonna can tell her herself, bitch, and then slap Deonna in the face. Deonna decides that she's just going to immediately return fire, lays out Mariah, and sends her out of the ring and to the floor. So, as James already said, he is super excited about Deonna Purrazzo being here. James, you are obviously our Impact guy. Impact Zone on Thursdays, everybody. You should go watch. And so I know you're a little upset that Deonna is leaving Impact, but this is a big deal.
This son of a bitch hasn't. No, he hasn't been in our goddamn chat in who knows how long. And the first, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna give me a second here.
Are you calling him? Uh-oh. Make sure you put it on speaker and put it near your mic. Is it ringing?
You soy boy beta cuck. You are on my. You are live right now. We can see you. This conversation is happening on the pod. Who do you think you are coming into my chat? This is a man, guys. Everybody, I just want it on the record. Coming with these garbage takes. He booed and derided CM Punk for months. That old washed up has been. The moment I'm hanging up on you. The moment Punk got back to WWE, he was like, man, there's just something about Punk in the E that just feels right. Take your garbage takes and get out of my chat. I love you. Don't do that again. I will beat you up.
For those who didn't see, because James just went off, Dragoon put, holy shit, it's that girl Asuka tapped out on Raw, which was a while ago, if I'm not mistaken, like a long while ago. I don't know why you're being exposed, Dragoon. Probably just for being a shill, and or you're just perfectly trolling James, which is probably the latter. But as I was attempting to say, James, as the Impact guy, I know you were a little upset that Deonna has indeed left the Impact zone, but you have mentioned she kind of did all she can do there, and I think this is going to present a lot more opportunities for her in the future.
So I'm getting rid of that tweet because she got a great reception tonight. Yes, as an Impact fan, let's say it because January it's bringing it. As a TNA fan, I'm sad that Deonna Purrazzo, who is probably the crown jewel of the Knockouts division, is gone. I am sad for TNA. I am sad for that division. But TNA is a company built around change and built around James. Why does it look like a wild boar is making love to your face? I am.
Is that a comment on her beard?
I don't know. I don't know. I am sad for TNA's Knockouts division, but TNA is a company about change. TNA is a revolving door, and it always has been. They will persevere. But TNA's loss is AEW's gain. And quite frankly, Deonna did everything there was to do in Impact. She is a 3-time Impact Knockouts World Champion. She is a former Tag Team Knockouts Champion. She did everything. She main evented events. She main evented TV. She left on great terms. So I am so excited for her to show a larger audience what she's capable of. As silly as Dragoon is, Jesus Christ, you got attacked by this guy too. Paul Peters, Nick looks like he eats alone at the strip club.
The fuck, dude?
Yeah. Hey, Paul, your profile picture is literally a koala. I don't know if you know that most people find that kind of sketchy, even though koalas are adorable.
Also, koalas rampant with chlamydia.
Boom. Go get tested, Paul. Anyway, the last time Deonna was on AEW TV, she didn't have the warmest of receptions because she was defending the Ring of Honor Women's Championship in the main event against Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a unification match or something.
It was a unification match, and it was Deonna was being exposed on the main event of TV with no build, with no prior introduction, and there were crickets.
And we knew she was there to lose, too, because we knew she wasn't sticking around.
Exactly. So it wasn't a great outing for her last time, and not her fault or Mercedes' fault. So I'm glad that this is going to be rectified. I'm glad that she's not going to be known, as Dragoon put it, the girl that Asuka tapped out on Raw. So let the world see. I love Toni Storm. I've loved this title reign. I am 100% happy to see Deonna take the title off Toni. I know there's a habit in AEW to introduce these women, immediately put them in a title program and lose. Like they did it with Taya Valkyrie. They've done it with many women. I would love to see Deonna break that trend.
I guess you're kind of getting back to the age-old question, though, of are we going to have Tony lose the title, I guess, this quickly? But look, Deonna being there is unbelievable. It is, a producer boy put up that tweet, and I know he took it down, but it had mentioned that Mariah and Queen Aminata had a very hard-hitting, good match.
Oh, yeah, there was a match. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a good match too.
It really was.
Very good debut match for Mariah May, and Aminata once again looked very good on AEW television. And then you come in, you follow that up with a debuting Deonna Purrazzo, and that is a great opening salvo for the new year for this women's division. Tony Khan has so much great talent in that division, and he really, really, really needs to figure out how to utilize them more, because people are obviously more than willing to watch them, and people are clamoring for them. We saw that in WWE, and we continue to see it, and I think we should be able to see it here too. And Tony needs to give them time to build feuds on television, and he has 7 hours a week now, so let them cook. Let them go out there, let them build up this division, let them build feuds, and not just the one title feud or the two title feuds. Give us more than that. Give us stuff outside of the title, and let these women and this division shine. Please, love of God, Tony. We've been asking for 5 years now, and you have more talent in that division now than you've ever had. If you don't do that, you're an idiot, especially if for certain, somebody comes in and brings in a lot of Monet, you're really going to have to fucking start pushing them. So you might as well get on it now, because if you build a division and that person does come in, it's already set and ready to go. And if they end up not coming in, then you just have a really fucking good women's division. There's no lose scenario.
Yep. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
I don't think he would bring in Deonna without planning on utilizing her. So to contradict what Dev is saying here, I don't think Tony needs a new booker. Maybe he just needs somebody to help him out with the women's division. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment, just because I don't think he would bring in somebody like Deonna and have all these talks with somebody like Mercedes without planning on making the division a much bigger deal than it has been in the past.
Yeah. Dev in the chat saying Tony needs a new booker. I don't know. I know he gets a lot of shit, Tony, and rightfully so for a lot of the decisions he makes, but he also makes a lot of great decisions as well. I'm willing to recognize both sides of that coin. So he makes mistakes, but he knocks it out of the park a lot too. Dragoon saying, if Mercedes and Deonna get into this division and Tony doesn't book them better, you might as well New Japan it and give up on it. Look, I am inclined to agree with Dragoon on this one. If you have these two amazing talents and it's like you just said too, if you can't figure out how to book them well, I'd rather almost you don't even highlight the women at all. But I have faith. I think this new year, we're going to be seeing the women's division heat up a lot.
Yeah, I hope so too. And for the reasons I just laid out, I actually truly think it's going to happen. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. After that, we came back from commercial for an in-ring interview with Christian Cage and the Patriarchy. Tony Schiavone is in there, and he asked Christian about coming a two-time TNT champion on Saturday. For those of you who missed it, Christian and Adam Copeland had an amazing no DQ match. Probably match of the night, arguably match of the night on Saturday. Christian ended up losing to Adam Copeland and lost the TNT championship. However, earlier in the night, in the pre-show in a Battle Royal, Killswitch, aka Luchasaurus, had won an anytime, anywhere opportunity at the TNT Championship. So he came down, snuck in, took out Copeland from behind, and just when it looked like he was going to cash in his opportunity, a la the ultimate opportunist, Christian forced Killswitch to give him the contract. Christian cashed it in instead and pinned and already taken out Adam Copeland to win back the TNT Championship. So, as two-time TNT champion, Tony asks him about this, and before Christian says anything, Mother Wayne takes the microphone and says, like, you guys are booing me. I'm a mother. Stop booing me, and stop booing the greatest father in the world, Christian Cage. Thanks for the intro. Christian starts to say that it's great that he's able to continue this 200-plus day run ever since he won it back all those months ago. And then Shivani's like, you didn't have a 200-day plus one. You only won it like a few months ago, because he's still counting the Luchasaurus run.
Yep.
And Christian gets in his face and scares Shivani off. Christian then goes on to thank the people who have his back. He started with Mama Wayne, and then goes to Nick, and he especially thanks Nick because Christian tried to end his very young career at 18 years old by putting him through a flaming table. And then he goes to thank the most important person, the person who put the final nail in the coffin of Adam Copeland himself. Clearly leaving Killswitch / Luchasaurus out of this whole thing. Christian then goes on to call out Copeland. All the while, there are Luchasaurus chants going on at this point, and he's having to talk over them. But he goes on, to call out Copeland, saying he's now 2-0 against him, and he can go to the back of the line if he wants to challenge him again for the TNT Championship. And now Copeland has to look at himself in the mirror and realize that Christian is always better than him, as he has always known. Great tweet from producer boy there. It was Buddy Wayne in heaven watching Christian Cage with his wife and son, and the gif of Christian banging on the APA's poker table after he lost a big poker hand back in the day. We also had a comment there. I know it was up for a second. We didn't get to it. From Dragoon again, who's just masterfully trolling tonight. Copeland tried to kill an 18-year-old boy, shoot wrestling style, and purposely missed the flaming table spot. He is an attempted murderer. Perhaps Christian isn't wrong. Well, James, I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, look, if this is a Christian promo, it's always good. Even if it wasn't his best, it's still fucking great.
No, I actually really loved it. I'm not going to say it's his best, but I thought it was incredible. Nas, my man, welcome. Happy New Year, brother. Happy to have you. Hope you had a good one. I loved it. I thought it was perfect. He played his part beautifully. He handled the crowd so well, and he fed into it so well. And Luchasaurus, I've been worried about Luchasaurus for a while. But way before this, I really been worried about him being an afterthought. Essentially, from when Christian was feuding with Jungle Boy, I've been worried about Luchasaurus. But man, the crowd was so into him, and I am so happy. I am so happy. I hope this is big for him. I hope this support continues, because when he turns on Christian, it's going to be gigantic. Christian is from Dragoon. Christian is the hero of the story, dating a single mother, adopting a starved 18-year-old who only weighs 70 pounds and helping him have a career, giving Killswitch a refreshed career. Bless this man. Nas saying, anytime Christian talks, it's always good. Well put. And Nas asking, will we ever see Jungle Boy again? It's funny that you asked that question, Nas, because I brought it up in our group chat today. I am 100%, I am convincing myself we're going to see Jungle Boy Jack Perry come back and help Luchasaurus against Christian. And I think we're going to see Jungle Boy as a babyface, and I think he's going to take the TNT title off of Christian.
He's still heel on Twitter. I'll tell you that much.
We shall see. We shall see. My predictions are 65-35, I'd say.
Which way?
Positive. So I am in for the redemption of the Jungle Boy. I am 100% in. Or at the very least, bring in Marco Stunt. I don't care.
Marco helps Luchasaurus. That would be phenomenal.
All right. I do think Perry joining Christian would be good. Eric in the comments putting that Perry joins Christian. I think it makes a lot of sense. He would develop very well as a heel under Christian, but I don't know. Where does that leave Lucha? You know, unless Lucha finally gets his win back over Jungle Boy, but as a face. But I don't know. I think that derails Perry.
Yeah, I don't know if Jungle Boy fits in with this whole storyline. I don't know where he fits in, to be honest, obviously. But as of this moment, I think they want to at least try to give him more run as a heel, just because he had really stalled out as a face after he beat Luchasaurus and then Christian. And it's like what he was doing next, he couldn't really find his footing, and then obviously he turned heel. And maybe that wasn't going swimmingly, but he never really had a chance to give it a real shot because of everything that happened with the glass. So I think they maybe try to give him one last run as a heel, but I don't know where he is. He's clearly not injured. Nobody knows if he's been suspended. There was all that nonsense. He might be off TV just because the legal issues might still be going on. So, everyone's got their opinion.
No, there is no way. If CM Punk is on WWE TV, there is no reason Jack Perry needs to be held off of TV for legal reasons.
I don't know. I don't know. It was pure speculation. But
go into the comments. We have Dev saying maybe Jungle Boy should team up with Edge. If they go the babyface route, that's a good way of going. Navarro, hey buddy. Jack Perry needs to be Jungle Boy face, I think, again as well. I think so, just because I don't think he's got it in him to be a good heel. I think he showed moments of brilliance. I think he flashed moments of brilliance as a heel, but he can't cut a promo for the life of him, and you need to be able to as a heel. Dragoon in the comments saying Jack Perry should be fired. Bring back Marco Stunt instead. I beat you to it by a few minutes. And Nas in the comments saying, I don't mind Jungle Boy as a face, but he needs a new gimmick. I more or less agree with you. I think it's one of those things that I think Jungle Boy should always be the basis of who he is, but I think that character needs to develop. I think he needs to evolve a little bit. But we'll see. Very active in the comments, guys. Nas asking, what happens first? CM Punk getting the title at Mania or Jungle Boy returns? That's actually a really good question. What do you got?
Ooh, put it on the poll. That's what I got.
Yeah, producer boy, put that on a poll. Nas, that was a great question. I will say, I think we get Jungle Boy back before Mania. I think we do. But
yeah, what if Mania is April, right? That would be August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. That'd be 8 months without him around.
That's crazy. Unless he's hurt, that's crazy.
Yeah, and
maybe he did get hurt. That was real glass, bitch. Cry me a river. Navarro in the comments, his best heel work was during the Fatal 4-Way Pillars AEW title match. I think that was pretty well done, but I actually think his best heel work was against Hook. I thought the way he won the FTW title was beautiful. Navarro continuing. Other than that, I didn't really like him as a heel. That's fair. I think he struggled, but like I said, I think there were moments. Just moments.
Wait, I thought Jungle Boy was still Jungle Boy in the Four Pillars match. He wasn't heel yet.
He wasn't quite a heel, but he was starting to show those moments. Like he was going to use the title to hit somebody. Yeah. And I think that was like the beginning of the end for him as a babyface.
Yeah. It was him trying to do the right thing still and then continuing to lose.
Mania is on Dragoon's birthday. It'd be an awful birthday gift to get Jungle Boy back. Boo. I can't say what he said on air. He was wearing the leather jacket all the time. All right, I wear a leather jacket and I am a babyface, sir.
Not according to her earlier comments.
Dev saying he doesn't like Jungle Boy. You're not alone. If Danny was here, he'd be all over that. Navarro, that was his heel version. LOL. The leather jacket, yeah, that was it. He was in his Fonzie era of heel.
Hey.
And Nas saying Perry will always be treated as a babyface by the fans. I don't know that that's true, bud. I think there are a lot of people who are very happy to boo that man. A lot of them. James isn't a babyface. He's a mark. All right. Fine. It is true. It is true. And in Ring of Honor, I am definitely a heel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. John Cena guy is a heel.
But let's get back to it. Guys, thank you so much for all your comments. Please keep them coming. We will do our best to address them throughout the show. But we love talking with you guys. We love having you guys in the chat.
Yeah. So next up on the show, we had a backstage interview with the Outcasts. So I think a bunch of this went down on Friday on Rampage, but Saraya asked Ruby if she's cool with the new addition of Harley Cameron to the Outcasts, and Ruby questions the idea of adding another crazy blonde to the group after what happened last time. She's thought Harley was pretty helpful, and I guess it's okay that she joins. So Harley says that she's willing to do anything for them, literally anything. And Saraya's like, yo, cool it, bitch. Like, you're going a little too crazy. Eventually, Ruby ends up walking away, and Saraya turns to Harley and goes, you need to calm down. You're going to blow everything. Renee's like, what are you talking about? And Saraya's like, Renee, I love you. We got to go bye. So I don't know what they're building here, but Harley Cameron seems fucking insane. So
all right, please don't bonk me for this, because
I already know where you're going.
Like, please don't bonk me. But like, was she like promising like a sexual favor?
It kind of seems like it, right? And I don't know if like Saraya's throwing Harley at Ruby so that Ruby leaves Cool Hand Ange alone, or
I mean,
what?
I thought the implication was she was doing stuff with Saraya. Guys,
I don't know what the implication here is. It does seem sexual though.
I promise I am not coming at this from the mind of a teenage boy. I just was very confused by what the implication was with this promo. I like it. I immediately like her chemistry with these two. I immediately like Harley Cameron with these two. Harley Cameron, if you guys aren't familiar, was the central piece of the QTV stuff, and I think yeah. So we know she could spit bars. 2, we know she is down for pretty much anything if she was doing QTV. So I am very into her. I am very into what she's going to do for this trio. And I would like to see the Outcasts do more. You know, like, I know that things fell apart around Allin, and I get it, because they needed Saraya to have her moment, and then Toni Storm took off in ways they weren't expecting. But I do like the concept of the Outcasts. So let this actually be a thing, as far as I'm concerned.
Harley is so far playing her role spectacularly, whatever that role is supposed to be. She certainly has the crazy eyes for it. So, and she's got like that like jittery, over-exuberance, overexcited like aura about her, and energy, that's the word I'm looking for, where she's playing this really well. I'm very intrigued to see what the play is here, because they're obviously implying something, or at least they want us to think they're implying something at the moment. But whatever it ends up being, I'm sure it'll be good. And, you know, whether or not we thought the Outcast might have been dead after Tony left, if this is a means to ending them, so be it. But for now, I'm enjoying the chemistry between these 3 women, and I'm really, really, really wondering what the hell this is all about.
Yeah. The best storylines AEW does are these, in my opinion, are the long-term storytelling.
Yep.
I think they sometimes fumble a little bit on short-term programs, but their long-term programs are almost always amazing. Whether it's Hangman, and the Elite, whether it's MJF Punk, whether it's MJF Adam Cole. Where's it? Where is Maki Ito? Dragoon asks in the comments.
Didn't
Japan?
she just fight Matt Cardona? Like
she
recently?
did, and Steph DeLander too. So yeah, I am all for bringing her back. But
I am also a simp.
So
God, somebody's gonna clip that. Great. Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's gonna be in the new intro whenever you fucking put it together. Go ahead.
Right.
It's fine.
But I'm rooting for this. I say what you will about Saraya, but I think she does still have something to offer in wrestling. I think Ruby is a great character on TV. She's always part of. I think she's better with her segments than sometimes her matches, and her matches are great. So bring it on.
Dragoon, you know goddamn well who Matt Cardona is. Stop. Just
All
stop.
right.
Matt Carhu.
Steph to what now? All right. First of all, Steph DeLander is awesome. Matt Carr, woo is what you mean.
Yeah,
but,
see there, he put the woo woos in the chat. He knows who he is. Stop trolling, Dragoon. You can do a better one than that. You were doing much better when you were doing the Christian stuff. All right. Let's keep it rolling here. We had Darby Allin versus Konosuke Takeshita in what is now match of the year. Sorry, Naya, you got pushed off the ledge after this one. This match absolutely fucked. We had that corny piece of shit, Don Callis, on commentary. And I only bring that up to note that everyone else was banned from ringside. There was no outside interference allowed. But Don was on commentary, and I put that in finger quotes. So he was allowed out there. This match was great, James. It was hard hitting. I think Takeshita murdered Darby like 6 times more than he usually does. It was absolutely insane. Producer Boy has a very early spot in this match where Darby went for a tope suicida, and Takeshita just intercepted him with a flying knee, which was. I thought Darby died again.
I know. I thought it was done. I thought he was going to get stretchered out.
It was awesome. And then Takeshita just casually followed that up with a rolling German suplex on the ramp. So like that was like the start of the match. Later in the match, we had Takeshita injuring his knee on the barricade when Darby sent him into the timekeeper's area, and then Darby hit a coffin drop onto the outside where Takeshita almost got counted out, but only made it because Don Callis, because Takeshita was right next to the announce table, which was on the floor tonight, was able to yell at him, and Takeshita got back into the ring. Eventually, towards the end of this match, Takeshita was able to take control of the match with a series of suplexes because he was just ragdolling Darby around the ring. It was awesome. Eventually, Don yells at Takeshita to kill Darby, which leads to the avalanche German suplex that Producer Boy has up on the screen right now. And then Darby gives Takeshita the, come at me, bro, hands. And Takeshita responds by hitting the power drive knee and picking up the win. Just, again, absolutely taking Darby's fucking head off. James, this match fucked. There's no other way to put it. It absolutely fucked.
Sorry, Nia Jax. Sorry, Becky Lynch. You no longer have the best match of 2024. I adored this match. The double rolling German suplex that Producer Boy is showing us was insane. I loved this little clip doesn't show it, but I loved Takeshita literally holding him in the German suplex position, walking up the ramp and then doing the roll. I think it showed just how much of a beast he absolutely is. But beyond that, I think it needs. I think it needs to be said. Takeshita just pinned clean, might I add. Takeshita just pinned clean one of the 4 pillars of AEW. That is a big deal.
And a former 3-time TNT champion.
This is a big deal. Takeshita is, God willing, back on track.
He's the shit, as Dragoon said.
Yeah,
he's the shit.
We also love that guy, Dragoon.
And on the ground floor with him, or at least AEW ground floor.
No, you really did. You really were. I'll give you that. He was your guy from the beginning. Eric's saying Darby is leaving, so him taking an L is whatever. I'm not mad. Leaving where?
He's going to climb Mount Everest later in the year. I assume after the Sting stuff.
Yeah.
At some point, he is going to climb Mount Everest. Darby, we wish you luck. And I mean that legitimately.
Yeah,
so,
no, seriously, don't die.
Yeah, so look, not that he can take L's left and right because he's leaving, but this is a good L because Takeshita is an absolute fucking beast. He has multiple wins over Kenny Omega. He's clearly a guy that they've put a lot of stock into, and having him beat Darby Allin clean is really good. And, you know, we'll get to what they set up next week, and I could just do it now. We went to commercial and then came back, and Renee found Takeshita, John, and the rest of the family, celebrating backstage. Renee asked Takeshita about the win. He responded in Japanese. And then Don laid out a challenge to Sting and Darby to face off against Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs next week on Dynamite in Daly's place. And then it was later announced that Sting and Darby accepted. So they'll probably, Darby will quote unquote get this win back most likely next week. But a clean singles win over Darby Allin for Takeshita is, especially in a match this fucking good, is huge.
No, I am all for this. I know we were talking earlier about Jay White needing a title. I think Takeshita is in desperate need of a title. I would love Takeshita taking the title off of Eddie, the Continental crown. I think he'd be perfect for it. I think he'd be better. Him, either Eddie or Orange Cassidy as guys to drop a title to Takeshita makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And I am rooting for this guy so much. What's his name? Don. I've been a big proponent of Don's work, but I do think he has overstepped a lot when it comes to the talent he's been representing. And I would like to see the talent pop off again. Takeshita pulls off shit, according to Dragoon. Takeshita pulls off stuff that Kota Ibushi was pulling like 10 years ago. And that is the biggest compliment I could give the dude. It's insane. Yeah, man, if Ibushi wasn't hurt right now, by the way, guys, everybody send your best wishes to Kota Ibushi. It's going to be a long, hard recovery road for him. But, you know,
snapped his ankle, right?
He has 2 broken ankles and a broken wrist.
Jesus Christ. How did he finish that match?
I don't know how he started that match, but that is a conversation for a different day. Shame on whoever allowed him to go wrestle.
Also, I'd like to quickly point out what Producer Boy has up on the screen right now, where Takeshita was trying to hit a tombstone pile driver off the second rope, and Darby reversed it into a stunner off the second rope. Like, how? These guys have amazing chemistry together. I don't know if they've ever wrestled, but they were doing some crazy shit. And part of that, you know, is how strong Takeshita is. And part of it is just Darby doesn't give a fuck. And it works out really well. And that's, to go back to what you're saying about Takeshita getting a title, I think that'd be similar to what you would see if he faced off against Orange Cassidy, because he has such a strength advantage over Orange. You wouldn't get the same match, but you would get a similar match where you have Takeshita throwing Orange all over the ring, as opposed to if he fought Eddie, you'd probably get a hard-hitting slobber knocker, old school, all Japan match that Eddie loves to have. Yeah. Both of those sound amazing. I'm here for either of them. I guess it just kind of depends on which title you think looks better around Takeshita's waist. Also, it also depends on how quickly you want to put a title on Takeshita, because Orange, out of the two, is clearly in a better position to lose his title because he has had it longer. I don't think you want Eddie losing. I don't know if it's all 3 of these titles or just the one.
Every title. I'm going to take a moment to rant here. Sorry. Yes, put it up. We don't do tangents. I was right. You all were wrong. It was a 3rd championship. The man is carrying 3 belts, and together, those 3 belts form the Triple Crown. He is the Ring of Honor World Champion. He is the New Japan Strong Champion, and he is now the AEW Continental Crown Champion. He can lose each of those belts individually. He will. But he has all 3. This Saturday, he is defending the Continental crown. You don't even put his comment up. He's wrong. He's wrong. He is.
He put his own comment up. He put his own comments up.
He's defending one championship this Saturday. We will talk about that in a minute because that match happened tonight for the number one contender spot. It was one title. It is that he will be defending. He has 3. Period. I'm right. You are wrong.
Okay, the only reason I was slightly confused is because, A, they never really fucking explained any of it. But B,
that's fair. That's fair. I have no issue.
Tonight, they did mention during the number one contenders match, which we're going to get to in a second, I thought Excalibur said he was going to defend all 3 against the winner. And I was a little confused. Now, I don't know if this is the name of the title is the Continental Crown Championship or it's just the Continental Championship. Whatever it is, they have been so vague about what the fuck the rules are right now that I don't know what's happening on Saturday. It sounds like Eddie's defending just the one championship, but like, can you be a little more specific about what's going on here, guys? Just a little.
I agree. They did a terrible job. They did a really poor job of explaining it. But if you are as neurotic as I am, if you are as Charlie Day in Always Sunny with the board behind me,
Pepe
Sylvia behind me, I've been paying attention. It's 3 different belts.
Okay, no, I believe you. It's just annoying. And I guess he could also probably defend them all 3 at one time if he wanted to. He could defend them one at a time if he wanted to. They're his fucking belts. But, be more specific. Jeez, it's not that difficult. Hey, speaking of those belts and that number one contenders match, next up was the number one contenders match. Trent Beretta versus Brian Cage versus Bounty Hunter Brian Keith versus El Hijo del Vikingo, obviously for the AEW Continental Championship number one contender. Eddie was on commentary, and he came out real hot out the gate by telling Taz that they had heat because Taz didn't invite him over for Christmas and some gabagool. So Eddie was really upset about that. And then he laughed at Taz when his Diet Coke fell over after somebody went into the table. So Eddie just absolutely great on commentary, no notes. This match ended when Brian Cage had Trent up, probably going for the drill claw. But Danhausen, who was at ringside and has a little bit of beef with Trent after what happened Saturday, or so we thought, he came into the ring and cursed Cage. And this distraction allowed Vikingo and Brian Keith to hit a couple of super kicks that sends Cage out of the ring. And then Vikingo took him out on the outside with probably like a 630 or something because it's Vikingo. That left Keith and a down Trent Beretta alone in the ring. Keith went after him. Trent was able to battle back, kick out of a couple of things. And eventually, Brian Keith got Trent up for a Tiger Driver, but Trent was able to wriggle free and get Brian Keith into position for his finisher, which Excalibur never says the fucking name of. And he hits it and picks up the win. So Trent is now the number one contender for whatever the fuck this title is and will be facing Eddie on Saturday. James, this match was good. We don't see, extreme close-up. We don't see too many four-way matches in AEW. So this was a little bit of a nice change of pace. I enjoyed the match. It wasn't an end-all, be-all, but it was a good match. And honestly, nice to see Brian Keith on Dynamite. I really liked him after I saw him in Ring of Honor at the pay-per-view last month. And
Final Battle.
Yep, at Final Battle. Thank you. And it's nice to see him, get some shine here on AEW television.
No, I completely agree. I think he's got a fun gimmick. He stole my gimmick, but we'll get into that later. I love talent. This felt like a very refreshing episode of Dynamite with the talent that was used. Not a lot of the regulars, there were some, but a lot of favorites or new faces, and I really appreciate that. And this match delivered on that front.
You do get this a lot post pay-per-view AEW, where a lot of the guys who wrestled on the show either don't have matches or don't even show up, and a lot of what they end up doing is post-match stuff like they did with Joe, and then they had Eddie's package later, a little bit later after that. So you end up seeing stuff like that. You did see Toni Storm was there tonight, but she was only there for like a minute and, did a backstage interview. Eddie was on commentary tonight. Joe, like I said, Joe was a pre-tape. No MJF, obviously. So a lot of people who wrestle don't necessarily show up, and you end up with a nice variety of people stepping in and being able to, get some shine when maybe they don't necessarily get to.
No, I completely agree. And I think this match was a great showcase of that. Trent Beretta is a talent that we are all big fans of whenever they allow him to cook. Bryan Keith being a new talent from that we were getting a little bit of a rub from Ring of Honor. Brian Cage, again, another one, when they allow him to cook, kills it. And who's the fourth in this match?
It was Vikingo. Who I was shocked was in this match. And I
loved seeing Vikingo. I'm sorry, I just couldn't place it at this moment. I'm day-quilled up right now. I want AEW to remember what it is. I want the company to remember that as much of the WWE talent that they've absorbed, as much as the main eventers they've absorbed, this company was built on the backs of talent that you don't usually expect to see on TV every week. And I think these four guys are a great representation of that. Brian Cage is not the traditional big man. We know that. We've seen that for years now. Trent Beretta is a very versatile wrestler in his own right. Vikingo does things that I physically and mentally can't comprehend how a human body can do them. And Brian Keith is wowing us in new ways. We're just getting to really meet him. So I want more of this. I love my Christian Cage segments. I love my Adam Cole segments, but I also love matches like this.
Yeah.
So this is great.
You can even say that about the Takeshita Darby match too. It was something we hadn't seen before. It was set up a little bit last week. And considering what's currently going on in the realm of Jericho, just going in this route and perhaps leaving that alone for the moment was a good idea. But that felt like one of those old school matches where I didn't know I needed to see Takeshita versus Darby, but he gave it to me, and holy fuck, did it deliver. And now you got a bunch of talent here that you didn't necessarily think would be in a match together, but here they are, and they went and delivered. And, Navarro saying again, this is the best Dynamite he's seen, and I quote here, in a fat minute. So when they do stuff like this, it does lead to good, refreshing episodes where, we continue to get storylines advanced. The Devil stuff advanced with Cole in the United Kingdom. I just did what you did at the top of the show, the Undisputed Kingdom. You had stuff advanced with, the feud between Sting and Darby and the Don Callis family. You have a new contender for Eddie Kingston's titles, whatever. A bunch of stuff continue to grow here. So you can do both.
Yes.
And
no,
I think
absolutely.
This and everything here tonight was a great example of that.
Hold on one second.
Yep. Nick, my friend, partner, wanted good old Y2J do specifically at 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. I don't know what he did at 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. I know what's been going on recently in terms of everything that's happened with him and Nick Houseman.
Nick Houseman, who has heavily walked back the comments he made.
Yeah, so there's a reason I'm not touching any of that, because it is so speculative that I don't even want to broach the topic in general. But considering the climate at the moment, it was probably a good idea to keep Jericho off of the show tonight and continue to see how things play out in the near future. But past that,
I don't want to talk about it. I'm afraid we'll get sued. I'm afraid somebody will sue us.
Past that, I genuinely don't wish to speak on the topic anymore, just because it's Dragoon. There's no information. It's just a bunch of, it was Houseman being a dick and somebody getting dragged into it that probably shouldn't have been, because him and Jericho are in a Twitter beef. And it's ridiculous. And the fact that any of it happened is stupid. And I don't want to talk about it because, like James said, not that I don't want to get sued, because I don't think anybody will sue us over it, but
not enough people watch us.
no, but it's just, honestly, I shouldn't even be giving it any more of my breath. It's fucking ridiculous. And honestly, actually, at that, I'm leaving it at that. It's fucking ridiculous. Moving on.
Thanks, Dragoon.
I'm not mad at you, Dragoon. I'm just mad at this situation. We went backstage.
He's not mad. He's disappointed.
We went backstage to an interview with Daddy Magic Matt Menard. But when Renee asked him about being on commentary for the main event, they're immediately interrupted by Hangman Adam Page, who James already said should have been 9:45, which was a choice. Hangman was clearly irate about the fact that Samoa Joe had the devil and his henchmen jump him a couple of weeks ago and put him through a car windshield. So he's going to take out his anger on Joe. If he can't find Joe, he's going to take it out on Adam Cole. If he can't find Adam Cole, he's going to take it out on anybody, even Menard, if Menard wants some. And he storms off, and Daddy Magic and Renee are looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened? Clearly, that's all to set up something that happened at the end of the show. But we then moved on to our main event, which saw Swerve Strickland face off against Daniel Garcia. I will jump to the end here. After a flatliner, Swerve was able to hit a house call, but Garcia was able to kick out of that. Swerve then hit a Swerve stomp, and I assume this was the end of the match. But Garcia kicked out again and was able to get Swerve into a crucifix pin that forced Swerve to kick out, which I was like, oh shit, Danny still got this. But Swerve quickly recovered, hit another house call, and then a JML driver. And this time he was able to keep Garcia down for the 3 count and the win. After the match, Swerve seemingly extends his hand to Garcia. And when Garcia goes to shake it, Prince Nana comes up from behind and low blows Danny, unfortunately. So Nana grabs the mic and tries to start speaking, but Daddy Magic, who was, like I said, on commentary, jumps to the ring and goes after Swerve and put Swerve on his back heel, but Swerve decided that he was going to borrow Nana's move and swiftly kicked Daddy Magic in the dick. This left both men down, and Nana starts attempting to say that Swerve is going to be the next AEW World Champion, but they're interrupted by the music of one Hangman Adam Page.
It doesn't make any sense.
Page comes down to get in a stare down. Page shows a right. Swerve throws Ben back. The bell starts ringing. Security comes down. There's a pull apart. The two each break away. Eventually, they're kept apart, and we go off the air. Classic pull apart brawl. So, James, as for the match itself, both these guys looked really good here. Danny Garcia was, Excalibur said he was the MVP of the Continental Classic, and then somebody was like, well, it was probably Eddie Kingston, because he won, but Eddie might agree because it was Garcia that beat Brody King and allowed Eddie to advance. And between him and Swerve, they had great showings in that tournament. You put them together, and they had a very, very good match leading into that pull-apart brawl. So I really don't want to take away from this match, even though I know we have to talk about what happened after. They put on a great match, and it wasn't match of the night only because Takeshita and Darby happened, and that was unbelievable. But this was a great match.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know if Producer Boy is going to be able to find it, but somebody posted on Twitter a video that was taken after Dynamite ended where Tony Khan comes out and praises Daniel Garcia and says, we're going to see a lot of Garcia in 2024. I think he is going to be one of the big projects of this year, and I'm excited for it. We've talked about it here on the pod. I know the internet has always talked about it too. It's a shame that it feels like Garcia got derailed a little bit after the Bryan Danielson feud. and it finally feels like he's picking up momentum again, and I'm for it. I think this kid is super talented, and I know we were all kind of disappointed he sided with Jericho over Bryan, but in the long run, I think it was the right choice because he's a character now that we care about, and not to shit on the other one, but Wheeler Yuta, I care so much more about Garcia than I do Yuta. And it's not because Yuta's a heel or anything. It's because they've given me reasons to care about Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia could always wrestle. We knew that.
Yeah.
It just Garcia has built out a character. He built out a gimmick, with the dancing stuff. And, the character has come after that as he's wants to become his own person after the split of the Jericho Appreciation Society and his continued affiliation with Daddy Magic, and Daddy Magic trying to guide him. He's like, stop doing the dance, and Garcia's doing it anyway. But Garcia has seemingly learned when and where now, even to the point where he had the dance-off with Nana, and 9 times out of 10, that dance-off leads to the heel getting the advantage on the face. However...
That was it. We found it.
However, we saw that when Swerve went to attack Garcia, Garcia was way ahead of him and was able to fend it off. So he's had so much character growth as opposed to Wheeler, who's, as much as I do like Wheeler Yuta, his character is still just little shit.
Yeah. He does it well. He does that very well, but he hasn't evolved the same way.
Yeah, Garcia has evolved so much more, and he is over. So Tony should be giving him more, or at least attempting to. So good for him, man. Seriously, good for him. He deserves it.
Absolutely. Completely agree. And the match itself was great. I loved him kicking out of the Swerve stomp. Yes, thank you. I don't give a shit about anything else. This is what I was just saying.
Hulk
Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Daniel Garcia, Prince Nana.
And they dance off. And then I know the clip that we're showing, it has Swerve trying to get Garcia at the end there, and it cuts off. But like I said, Garcia, ready for it. It's character growth.
I will say, Nana won. He pulled out 2 different dance moves. Garcia, only the same move twice.
Yeah, so...
In my book, that's a win for Nana. But regardless, the match was great. I'm super happy he kicked out of the Swerve stomp. Really protected him there. Swerve needed to win more, especially with what came after. But good match, good strong match between what is, in my opinion, the future of this company. Garcia, way more long-term. Swerve, more immediate. But I could see this being a one day revisited as a world title match in some capacity.
Hey, thank you, Producer Boy, for finding the part where Garcia was able to fend off Swerve. But no, I agree. I think Swerve winning here was smart, but he won in such a way that Garcia clearly looks like he's a player, and can be a main event player. And that's something AEW has always done well, especially with younger guys, and mainly Garcia and Wheeler Yuta of late, or at least beginning of last year, where even when they lost, they still look really good, and you're like, okay, this guy's going to be a player in the future. And Garcia is closer there now than, obviously, even when he beat Bryan. I think he's much closer. So
I completely agree. Well said.
But Swerve is the player now. He's one of your main guys now. He gets the win here. And then, obviously, you get to this brawl here at the end. And, James, you mentioned very briefly that you weren't happy about it.
So I want to say a couple of things. First of all, going back to the Hangman promo, I joked about him showing up to the arena when he did, but the actual content of the promo, he's blaming Samoa Joe for the Undisputed Kingdom attacking him. I don't know that that's the case.
I don't know everybody.
No, but he specifically said Samoa Joe had the Undisputed Kingdom attack me. I don't know that that's true. I think that was purely an Adam Cole decision. So if you're mad at Joe and you're mad at Adam Cole, why are you going after Swerve? And I get, first of all, I understand the notion that there is unfinished business there. But if I'm Hangman, why am I going after this guy when I now have a problem with this guy? Moving past that, in a very real sense, why are they revisiting this feud so soon? The 2 matches that these 2 men had were incredible. The second match being one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen in AEW or anywhere else.
I showed that to a friend who doesn't like wrestling, and I was like, dude, you're going to like this one. It's violent. And he goes, all right. And I was like, somebody drinks somebody else's blood. And he goes, okay, I'll watch it. He loved it. He was like, this is the only wrestling match I've ever liked.
I enjoy. I think these guys. It goes without saying they have incredible chemistry. This is a money feud, so I understand wanting to tap that well, but we keep comparing it to The Rock Austin, and I get it. If anything, this feels like the closest we've ever gotten to it, considering the players involved, the characters involved. But the Rock Austin trilogy happened over the course of WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19.
It's a lot. It's it's almost like 5 years. So 4 or 5 years.
We're going towards a trilogy within less than within less than 12 months here. And I know wrestling is different now than it was back then. I understand that. I respect that. But I'd say back then you had guys wrestling each other far more often than you typically see today. I would have loved for.
Yeah, Dragoon's agreeing with you for once.
I'll take it. Thank
you. Saying that you nailed it and they're trying to cash out on something way too quickly. I would agree. I don't understand why they're coming back to this right now, unless this is just a one-off and Hangman was super pissed and found the one guy he truly doesn't like. But that wouldn't make a lot of sense either. So I don't understand why they're coming back to this, because your options are Swerve wins again, and then that gives Hangman an 0-3 record against Swerve.
Exactly.
This kills the feud. Or 2, Swerve takes a loss at a time where if he's going to lose, it's got to be in a really big way, because he, for all intents and purposes, is one of your next 2 AEW champions at worst. He's either the guy to beat Joe, or he's the guy who beats Joe. The guy to beat the guy beat Joe. Yeah. So I don't understand what you're trying to do here with this, because I think it puts both guys in a precarious position if and when they lose.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I've been saying it. I've been arguing it here on the pod that I think the next time these two should have wrestled should have been Hangman probably taking the title off of Swerve.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think Producer Boy either showed a tweet of it or he messaged it himself in the comments earlier that maybe this is going to be a triple threat for the world title, which kind of saves us a little bit. Maybe Swerve, Hangman, Joe happens at the pay-per-view in a triple threat, and maybe that's how you get the title off Joe with Swerve, because I've been saying it's weird to have heel versus heel for the title, but maybe a triple threat is how you do it. And you protect Hangman by not taking another loss, but by also failing again. And then eventually Hangman does take the title off Swerve. But
you could, if you wanted, if you do that, you could have Joe beat Hangman, and then just to kick the can down the road a little bit on Swerve, so that you have a face beat Joe and then Swerve beat the face. You could.
Well, you also said Joe beat Hangman. Did you mean Hangman beat Joe?
No, I'm saying Joe beat Hangman and then somebody else beats Joe.
I guess, but I wouldn't
again to kick the Swerve can down the road just a little bit further, so that you can have a different face in there. Because I don't think you want Hangman beating Joe.
Eric in the comments saying Hangman wins and Swerve takes it. All is right in the world. Yeah, but this kills the Hangman.
Yeah,
this hangs the man, and I don't want that. He doesn't deserve to be fodder. Because, yes, he is a former world champion, but he is still a young guy and is still integral to the future of this company. He shouldn't be treated as a stepping stone. And I'm not clamoring for him to be world champion right this moment. I'm not. But I want good things for him, too.
Yeah, the only thing, too, is, and we'll get to Dragoon's thing for a sec here. Hangman should hit 2 finishers on Joe, and then Swerve throws Hangman out the win, goes for the pin, and gets the title. This way, it's Hangman's finishers and Swerve getting the dub. And I guess you could do that. Here's the other thing. how short are we having Samoa Joe's reign here?
No, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I don't want to interrupt you.
Just asking.
I love that Samoa Joe has won the AEW World Title.
Me too.
I think there's maybe two people. One of them is part of this podcast who's not happy Samoa Joe is the world champion of AEW. But I'm very happy because this man deserves it. He was putting on incredible work. So much so that he vacated the Ring of Honor TV title because he held it longer than literally anybody else and said, I want more. And then he got it. That's fucking epic. It's amazing that he pulled this off. So I am so happy for him that in 2024, 15 years since he was a world champion of any company, he won another world title. I am so happy about that. NXT doesn't count.
I didn't say anything.
I don't know. You gave me a look like.
Oh no, I was trying to do the math in my head, and I'm also in my head. I'm thinking, I'm not really surprised because Tony Khan is such a Ring of Honor mark. He probably loves Joe, and he was like, "I'm giving Joe this title at some point."
And if I can't get Bryan Danielson as world champion, I'll take Samoa Joe. But I don't need Joe to be a long dominant champion in 2024. The victory is that he won it. There are certain instances that championship reigns are defined by the win and by the reign. It depends. I think Joe being a champion is the win. He doesn't need to have a record-breaking title reign. Maybe if he does, it's the shortest reign, and I'm okay with that because, again, he's the world champion.
Also, the shortest reign is relative because all of their reigns have been fairly long. So, like, he can hold it for 100 days, and I don't think I have the link. And that could be the shortest. I don't know the numbers on those. But I'm going to push back. You said I don't need a long dominant run. It doesn't have to be long, but it better be fucking dominant. I need Joe beating motherfuckers in like 3 seconds sometimes. You know?
As the tweet producer boy put up said, Joe versus Swerve versus Hangman at Revolution. Let him be a pay-per-view to pay-per-view champion. He won it at World's End. He loses it at Revolution. I'm okay with that.
When's Revolution?
February? March, I think.
So is that like 2 months or so?
I think so.
I guess depending on what part of March it is, it would be 3 months.
And I think that's fun.
Yeah, I said 100 days.
Yeah, as Eric said in the chat, let him defend a bunch for 3 months. We've seen that AEW does that with certain shorter title reigns, that you see these champions defending every week on TV for a month. Like Darby.
He's going to have the Sheeta run. He's going to have the Sheeta run. It's March 3rd, by the way.
March 3rd?
Yes.
Cool. So let it happen that way. Samoa Joe, world champion, transitional champion to Swerve. Cool. I'm happy with it. Everybody wins this way. And as producer boy put in the chat, no one looks bad losing a triple threat. So let's do it this way. I know people were confused by Joe beating MJF. I know more people were upset with the actual finish of the match.
Didn't hate it.
I didn't. It's crazy that people are upset that a choke put somebody out.
The coquina clutch worked. Why are you mad?
People who tap out to chokeholds. It's a chokehold. Knocking out is literally what the move does. Anyway, we don't got to get into it. We don't got to get into it.
You know what it is? We didn't do a post show for that because we were all there, except you. You were in Puerto Rico. But we were all there, and by the time we got home, it was like 1:30. So we didn't do a post show. And so I do have thoughts. But I think more people were surprised that it ended. When's the last time you saw it end with the third hand?
Yeah.
And that's why I like it. It was something so different. So
MJF's title reign, from winning it to losing it, showed so many different things that you don't typically see.
Yep.
We had Iron Man matches. We had multi-man matches. We had so much unconventional stuff. And I loved it. And it was, but I digress.
We could always do a post-mortem on his title reign another time.
Yeah, no, seriously. I am for whatever comes next. I'm a little worried. Until a triple threat is announced, I am worried that we're going to be getting Swerve Hangman 3. And that's not something I really want.
Yeah, because like we said, it doesn't make any sense.
My only thing is, and again, I said it, I don't understand why Hangman isn't more pissed at Adam Cole.
Baby.
But if this is finally what gets me an Adam Cole versus the Elite storyline, I'll take it. Have the Undisputed Kingdom. It's gonna be a problem for a while.
It's muscle memory. You say United Kingdom because it's Britain.
Yeah. Have the Undisputed Kingdom take on the Golden Elite.
Well, it'd probably just be the Elite because Coda. We're gonna need Coda. That's gonna be a while, man.
All right, respectfully, Adam Cole is still walking with a cane.
Well, he's walking with crutches. So
Crutches.
In the future, yes, when both of these men are healthy, yes.
Give me my 5v5. Whether it's Wardlow or Kyle O'Reilly as the fifth man for them, give it to me.
Stadium Stampede. Book it.
No. Maybe. Fuck. Maybe. I wanted it in the ring, but maybe.
Dude, anytime they do one of those like gang warfare matches, it's either Blood and Guts or Stadium Stampede or both.
I know. You're right. I've been waiting literally years at this point. Years. For Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole.
The fact that's never happened is insane.
My mind can't comprehend how we haven't gotten there yet. But regardless, sorry if you guys keep hearing Yoshi going off in the
background. Was wondering what that was.
This thing has been so cool, but he's off right now, but he's still going like loud.
Is it like, dude, that's Furby behavior. You should burn it now.
I'm terrified of him.
Side note, I was at my uncle's house the other day, and one of his kids had a Furby, and I literally had to make him put it away. I'm still so afraid of those things.
I don't blame you.
Eric in the chat thinks they do a number one contenders match, and I'm assuming they being Swerve and Hangman, and the time runs out. That's possible, and then that's how you lead to the triple threat. That does make a bit of sense. It protects both of them so that it's 2-0-1.
Yeah,
but I that would be the only instance I'd be okay with another match between them, just because neither of them can afford the loss at the moment to the other.
Yeah,
so
no, I agree. I agree. So I hope, again, I said it before. I started the show with this. Predictable isn't bad. So if we're all thinking triple threat and they give us the triple threat, yay! That's awesome.
It'll be a good match.
Yeah, it'll be a great match. It'll be a great match between three opponents that I don't think we've ever seen in that capacity. So give it to me that way. But I don't want Swerve Hangman 3 to happen until it's a title match.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, unless the way the producer boy said, but even then, and like you're gonna run it back after what they just did. Anything you do or anything they do isn't gonna live up to the hype. So, also, how many Yoshis did you kill playing like Super Mario Brothers 3? This is revenge.
All of their spirits are haunting me now. It happens in the middle of the night. I'll be in my bedroom and he'll go off and I'll get scared.
Yeah, dude, it's Furby behavior. You need to kill this thing. Burn it at the stake. Put it through a trash compactor. It needs to die. All right. So, yeah, that was Dynamite. And this being the first show of the new year and the first show after World's End, James, we are kind of entering I don't mean to make the joke here, a new era of AEW.
A new world.
Oh, I was going to make an Undisputed Kingdom joke, but
do it. Rewind.
A whole new world. But seriously, we're entering this new era because we have a new champion. MJF is going to be out for a while. We also are missing a lot of other big players, guys like Kenny Omega. Don't really know what the Bucks are going to be up to for a little while. So we're seeing a bit of I was going to make another pun here, but revolution in the year for AEW, and not even a revolution, but there is a bit of a changing of the guard, I guess, so to speak, for the moment. And I think this was a very good first episode coming into that, to this new new AEW as it is just presently constructed. You have a lot of new players and different old players in different spots. Adam Cole leading this dominant new heel faction. Samoa Joe being the new champion. The new addition of Deonna Purrazzo. Purrazzo, excuse me. I think I kind of somehow combined Purrazzo and Piazza in my head. But we have all of these, new board pieces, and I think it's going to make for a very interesting, compelling show all the way up until at least Revolution, and then we can see where we go from there.
I'm very excited about the direction of AEW. Every few months we hear the same thing. AEW is cold. AEW is not as hot as it once was. AEW is struggling. Look how good WWE is comparatively. And I want to say it. I am so happy with how hot WWE is right now.
They are doing a very good job.
I am thrilled that the company I grew up on is reminding me why I've been watching it for the last 20 plus years. All that said, I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for WWE. I'm rooting for TNA. I'm rooting for, did I say AEW or WWE to start?
You said WWE.
I'm rooting for AEW. I'm rooting for New Japan, who I will be covering tonight / this morning for Wrestle Kingdom.
God bless you.
I am so tired. I'm so tired. But anyway, I'm rooting for all of these companies. And despite hearing AEW's cold, AEW's not as hot as it was, AEW's struggling, I can tell you, despite World's End being the weakest pay-per-view AEW has done all year, it was still a good pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
And they've, in my opinion, putting on consistently the best pay-per-views of any wrestling promotion this year. I'd say Impact was a little more consistent in 2023 as a whole, but pay-per-view wise, AEW did not miss.
If you had a B pay-per-view and rating wise, if you had a B pay-per-view and it's your worst pay-per-view of the year, you had a pretty good fucking year.
I completely agree. And I loved the Continental Classic. I loved the Devil storyline. I'm loving Tony Storm, and I'm excited for the women's division now. I think AEW is, yes, it's not the hot new company that it was 5 years ago, but I still think they're killing it. I really do. I think they're putting on great stuff. I think Swerve is quite possibly the hottest act in all of wrestling.
Yep, definitely up there.
I am so into so much of what they're doing. Do I have my complaints? Absolutely. The Golden Jets, period. But for all my minor complaints, I have huge compliments. What happened?
I said that ended well for no one.
No one. But for all of those minor complaints, I have huge compliments. And I am still excited, and I'm looking forward to what comes next after World's End and now with this new world, as I punned before. But keep it coming. Keep delivering. And I'll keep watching. So good stuff for AEW. Let it continue to be great. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy with the show. I thought tonight was a great Dynamite. I think the direction they're going in for multiple storylines is exciting to me. And we have questions, and questions are good. Who's going to take Joe on next? Are they going to do Swerve Hangman 3? Is Deonna going to challenge Tony immediately? Are Bullet Club Gold going to take on the Acclaimed for the Trios title? I'm in. And keep doing it.
Yeah, and also, what's the future with the Devil and the new Undisputed Kingdom? And God, I hope I'm still online. I think as Dev was trying to say in the chat, wherever you pick to go for your wrestling, you should be happy because it's all good at the moment. Everything you're watching is good. Even the indie stuff. Even if you're not watching all of the, any of the bigger promotions or any of the promotions, well, I guess everything is promotion. But if you go on the indie, there's still really good wrestling out there. James and I are going to the House of Glory this weekend on Saturday. If you're going, say hi. And I've never been to one of these. I'm very excited because James is always raving about these shows, And there's some really good talent on this card. And I know House of Glory always gets a lot of good talent.
They just announced Mustafa Ali for March.
Oh, for Mariah, I thought you were gonna fucking say for
not the one we're going to, but hey, we could go to that fucking show. Let's get front row for that show.
Yeah, dude, Mustafa Ali. We have also that's another thing that's coming out. We have all these people now who are free agents officially. Mustafa and Shelton Benjamin, and Mansoor and Mace or whatever those guys. I forgot what they're calling themselves now, but. They did a phenomenal Botchamania opening, by the way. If you didn't see it on the last one,
I gotta check it out.
Best Botchamania opening ever because they're like in a little feud with Matthew. It was so funny. But there's a lot of new talent that's floating around now. Dolph Ziggler is out there, and we don't know what he's going to do. So I think we are
Dana Brooke, baby.
We are don't disrespect Dana Brooke. We are setting up, I think, for a very, very good year of wrestling. Apparently, Monday Night Raw was apparently very good. We had, I didn't hear too much about NXT last night, but NXT usually has a pretty good show. Tonight was a great follow-up to a pay-per-view. And then we'll see what comes, with TNA and Rampage and Collision. So, strap in, boys and girls. I think we got a wild ride coming to us this year. I am thrilled. And on that note, I would like to thank everybody so much for watching us here at the Mark It Down podcast. If you like what you saw, please throw us a like and subscribe. We will be back here every Wednesday, or almost every Wednesday. Obviously, we went on a little bit of break there for the holidays. I hope everybody had a very happy and safe holiday as well. But we are back every Wednesday to review AEW Dynamite. As I mentioned, James does the Gym Packed Zone on Thursday for those of you who are TNA fans. We finally had a Raw fast forward out of Danny on Monday. Hopefully we can get some more of those as Raw continues to deliver and do well. Also, The Rock appeared, so we kind of had to. And we do our best to cover any pay-per-views that come out. James, as you mentioned, is going to review is this night one of Wrestle Kingdom tonight?
The only night.
Oh, so there's only one night. Okay. So
yep.
They dialed it back a little bit. But he will be up at the ass crack of dawn to watch and review Wrestle Kingdom for you New Japan fans. And then obviously if you subscribe and you can't get up that early, you can come back after the show ends and you watch it later. And then you can come back here and watch the replay over on our channel. For the pay-per-views we don't do, it's usually because we're there. And you can follow us along, follow us on social media and see what we post from the pay-per-view. I did my best to post some stuff from the show on Saturday. I had a very good time, and we like chopping up with you guys over on Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is. Obviously, Danny and James do a great job on the memes over on Instagram. So be sure to check us out on all of those platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Like I said, all in the description below if you are watching on YouTube. And we are also now on streaming platforms. I know we're on Spotify and Apple Music, so you can check, or Apple Podcasts, I guess. So you can check us out there if you want to hit up the audio-only versions and listen to us while you're driving or something. So yeah, James, if you have anything else,
I'm tired, but I will be here for you guys. I will be here for you guys for Wrestle Kingdom. I will be here for you guys tomorrow for Impact. Tomorrow, big announcement on the Impact episode, so come check in. Very exciting stuff going into Hard to Kill next week, so please stay tuned, guys. This is going to be a big new year for us here at the Mark It Down podcast. New year, same old us, but getting bigger. We're hitting puberty this year.
Oh God, I hope our voices don't go way up. But yeah, we've teased that announcement a little bit in a couple of previous episodes. So for those of you who've been following along, you might know what's coming. But like James said, be sure to check out Gym Pack tomorrow, and you can see what he's got cooking for you. For those of you who are watching Wrestle Kingdom tonight, enjoy. But for the rest of you, once again, thank you so much for watching. So for James Asante and Producer Boy in the back, my name is Nick Cummings, and we will see you next time here on the Mark It Down podcast. Have a good night, everyone.